Stormtrooper twice lined up in rows. Let's go! Reviewing each one with the passion. It's so plastic to metal. He knows them so well. Stormtrooper swagger, his story to tell. Tune in for Bert, he's the toy expert. Let's go! From action to arcade.
Hello and welcome, I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be doing something different and something very fun. We're going to be taking a look at the SAITEK Pocket Sea Battle, and I love this game. And this is another variation on that Battleship game that you guys know that I love. This is the Sea Battle version of it. And this is something that I recently just happened upon. Knew nothing about this game. I didn't know this existed. And I just found like a short video of this online and I went, whoa, what is that? I gotta have that. Started doing research on it. Couldn't find any information. I found very few pictures, and the pictures that I found were tied into the online auction that this was being sold on. So I bought it. The pictures that I found online were this one right here that was being sold, so I bought it. There is next to no information about this online, so I figured let me get it and put some information out there so that if you have one of these, hopefully this video can help you with it. So yeah, Pocket Sea Battle. This is made by SAITEK. So SAITEK is the same company. There's like a lot of crossover between SAITEK and CCs or CISES. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. The companies that made game for Radio Shack. So this could be a game that at one point was sold at Radio Shack, although this is Munich, London, Paris. It does have LA on there, but everything else leads me to believe that this was an overseas release and maybe did not get a US release. Otherwise, it would have been under the Radio Shack banner, and there are no Radio Shack markings under this. But this is exactly the kind of game that you would have found at Radio Shack back then. And yeah, it's a pocket battleship game for one player. Really, really cool. It's approximately, game itself, it's about 6 inches in length. It's about 3.5 inches wide, and it's about 1 inch deep. And then it'll open up, and I'm going to show you that here in a moment. You got your control panel right here in the front, on and off. War, new game, fleet report, new fleet, mega bomb, and then your letter number options and your fire button right there. Very cool artwork here on the front, showing us a battleship, and then it looks like maybe a carrier following behind. Pocket Sea Battle on the front right there, with a little missile firing off. I thought that was a scratch on the plastic at first, but it's not. It's like a little missile firing off right there. Then on the back again, we got that Pocket Sea Battle. It uses 2 AA batteries, which go in right there. And that's really kind of about it for the outside. So to open this up, you just take the latch and just open it up. Now right here, this is going to slide down, and then you can lock it in place. So that actually locks in place right there. You've got a pocket up here for all of your pegs, and then you got your 5 ships right there. So we'll take a look at those. I'll bring in my tweezers because these are all very, very small little parts. So there's our aircraft carrier right there, and you've got little planes molded on it, which is very, very cool. We've got our since I don't have the instructions for this, I'm just going to go with the names that I know. So there's our battleship right there, 4 peg. That's our battleship, and then we've got our 3 pegs, going to be our submarine if it wants to come out. There's our little submarine looking really cool. And then we'll get our cruiser. Get our little cruiser right there. We'll set this guy down here. And finally, our little 2-spot patrol boat right there. And then again, you've got your white and red pegs, and we'll grab a couple of these. Now, these are absolutely tiny right there. Check that out. These are really, really tiny. And really, the only kind of issue that I have with this is I can see myself having a lot of fun with this when I was a kid. Now, I've got big hands, big fingers, so I actually have a hard time kind of reaching in here to get the pegs and popping them in place. I kind of tend to have a hard time doing that, and so I use the tweezers. I find myself using the tweezers to play and just kind of grabbing my pegs and putting them on the board and just kind of playing like that. But it's still a lot of fun. So let's go into how to program this. So there are When you turn it on, you're going to hear a little sound. And it's asking you which game you want to play. There are, as far as I've been able to tell, and again, this is just me playing around with it, there are 4 games that you can play. So game A, B, C, and D. Okay. A is your traditional one shot each. So I'll take one shot, then the computer takes one shot back at me. Game 2 or game B seemed to be the same thing. I have not been able to tell a difference between game A and game B. Game C is a salvo game. So game C, again, you get 5 shots. And unlike other traditional salvo games where you get as many shots as the ships you have. So if you have 5 ships, you get 5 shots, and then the next player gets their shots. If you lose a ship and you're down to 4 ships, then you only get 4 shots. The salvo game on game C doesn't work that way. The game salvo, or the salvo game on C, you always have 5 shots. No matter what, no matter how many ships you have, you always have 5 shots. And I haven't been able to tell a difference between C and D as well. I'm guessing that the games that I haven't been able to tell a difference on may have like a special weapon kind of a thing, or a fleet deployment game. Because you have a button here for Mega Bomb, and you have a button here for New Fleet, meaning you can deploy ships. And that's my guess, is that with Game D or Game B, one of those, you're able with, I know with the Radio Shack Sea Battle, the electronic sea battle that I've shown here before, one of the games is New Fleet. You can actually launch new ships throughout the game. And so I'm guessing that's what these are. Again, next to no information about this online, and this is just what I've been able to guess at, just playing with it for the last week or so. So let me show you how to do a regular game. Again, if you have this, hopefully this will be helpful for you. So it's still asking for a game, so we're going to go with game A, and I'm going to press enter. So new game. Now it's asking me to enter my coordinates. So exactly like my Radio Shack Sea Battle, we're going to enter the first and last coordinate for each ship. So starting right here, I have a B4 and a B7 on that battleship. So I'm going to go B4 and B7, enter. And that ship is set. So now I'm going to continue with the other one. So C1 and G1. So C1, G1, enter. That's our carrier. Our little guy is E3 and F3. So E3, F3, enter. Submarine is on E6 through E8. E6 through E8. And do keep in mind that the grid on this works A through J, just like you're used to, but your number grid is going to be 0 through 9, not 1 through 10. So if you're used to the more traditional Milton Bradley versions, you got to get used to that. So our last ship is on H5 through H7. So H5 through H7, enter. And once we're ready, we're going to press war. And right away, you're going to hear those. You're going to hear that sonar sound or that radar sound, which means we are playing the game. You are player 1, so you're going to take the first shot. So I am going to grab one of these little white ones. And you see if you place it flat on the table, it kind of muffles out the sound. So that's actually kind of a good thing. So I'm going to take my first shot and see if I can do it with my hands right here. And I use the tweezer. So I'm going to take my first shot at E4 right there. So we're going to press E4 and we're going to fire. That was a miss. And now the computer's going to shoot back at me at I0. And then the computer missed. And we keep going this way until we get a hit. And when we do get a hit, this right here is going to light up. And we're going to get the explosion sound. So let's do a couple more shots so that you can see what that's going to look like. So I'm going to shoot at F5 this time. We're getting close. So still no shots there. So I'll keep going until I get a shot. So there you see that the computer just hit me at B5. So right here, they hit my battleship, and you saw the little display right here. It lit up, it made the explosion sound, and it's showing me where it hit me. So now I'm able to take one of my little red pegs right here. And I can mark my ship. So let me keep going so that I can show you what it sounds like when one of your ships is actually sank. So right there, B7 was the last shot on my battleship. I haven't placed the red marker yet for this one, but yeah, I hit him here on C2, and then he's hit my entire battleship. He sank it, and then you heard the little sinking sound right there. That indicates that the whole ship was sank. So when you hear that, you know that you can move on to another grid, or rather another part of the grid, and start looking for another ship. All right, so I have somehow managed to come back from the way that computer was absolutely just handling me. I've actually managed to come back. I'm about to take my last shot right here at D1. And that is going to win the game. And then you'll be able to also hear what it sounds like once you sink the last ship and win the game. Or whenever the game is over. So that's going to be D1. I'm going to go D1. Nope. All right, that's actually I'm glad that happened. So I made a mistake. It's not where I want to shoot. I want to shoot. I don't want to shoot a D0. I want to shoot a D1. So all I'm going to do is simply press it again. So I'm going to go D1. That's where I want to shoot, and I'm going to go ahead and fire on that. There's the explosion. Sinking ship. All right, so there was a longer explosion indicating that the game is over. The whole fleet has been sank. It's given me a score, and then now the score is based on if I'm going off of my other Radio Shack or SAITEK Sea Battle. The scoring is based on how many shots you've taken, how many misses you have. So it does kind of pull out some kind of an average. I really don't know how it works, but it does average out how many shots you've taken, how many misses versus how many hits, and how many ships you have left. And based on that, it gives you a score. My score was 68. And we're all set. So now what we can do is, and then it also played the same sound that it plays when the game turns on. So now you can reset and go to new game and then select your game. Let's say we want a game end. And now it's asking you to enter your ships, and the process starts over again. Very, very cool little piece of battleship right here, or sea battle. Again, this is something that I was not aware of this. This just kind of popped up. I saw a video about this. It was like a 2-minute video of somebody just going over the programming real quick, and I immediately recognized the programming as the same as my Radio Shack Sea Battle. So I started looking for it. Couldn't find any info. Did find this one for sale. It was the only one that I could find. Couldn't find any info for it, so I figured, you know what, that's a really cool, curious little piece of sea battle or battleship gaming history. It's really cool. I love the handheld aspect of it. I love the flip lid of it. I love the way that everything just stores in it. So I had to have it, and because there's so little information about this online, I figured I'd go ahead and make this video, kind of like the same way I did my Radio Shack Sea Battle video. Not a lot of information of that online, so I was able to make that video, and a lot of people have been able to have told me that it was very helpful for them because now they were able to play the game. So hopefully, if you have one of these, this video will be helpful for you as well. So it means you can program the game, and now you know how to play. You're able to play your game, which is really cool. So if you have one of these, by all means, if you have the instructions and you know what games B and D are all about, drop down in the comments. Let me know what that's all about. I would love to know more information about this. What did you think of this game? Let me know down in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe. As always, thank you share with your friends. If you like what you see, share with your friends. As always, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.
That's displayed on never ends with our toy-loving friend. Burst the one we know, bringing every show.